Welcome to Academy Answers Podcast, a show dedicated to inspiring and providing actionable advice on life, business, happiness, success, and reaching your full potential. Have you ever felt frustrated that life isn't working out the way you expected? Have you been searching for answers without success? You've come to the right place. Each week, we bring you perspectives, ideas, and actionable content. We share with you proven and time-tested step-by-step strategies to help you live the life you deserve and make your dreams a reality. From health to finances to relationships to business, we provide the insights and strategies you need to reach your full potential. So buckle up and plug in, because Academy Answers Podcast is about to take you to a new level of personal success.
Happy Sunday, Academy Answers Podcast. This is our Sunday edition of the podcast where we do something and speak of something that is motivational to start the week. These days there is a tendency to avoid motivation, saying, I'm not a motivational this, and motivation doesn't last, and all the sort of arguments about motivation, but then you still cannot get rid of the word, because you know what, it is core, it is important, and those of us who are in the space, if we continue to allow people to use sinister arguments and conversations to undermine core principles, then that's why we will lose our power. We must stick to our guns and we must say it as it is. Nothing lasts. What works is a consistent application of whatever we're doing in our lives. If you're going to eat right, you gotta eat right all the time. If you take a bath and you're practicing proper hygiene, you gotta do it every day. If you're taking care of your teeth, you gotta brush them every day. So you could say that brushing your teeth doesn't last, bathing doesn't last, going to the gym doesn't last. Nothing lasts. It's a consistent application of things that work. So don't be pulled into the cynicism of motivation doesn't work and all that stuff. So we're doing motivation on a Sunday to take us through the week. What it is really is that we talk about something powerful. And if you just joined us, thanks for listening to the Academy Answers Podcast. We talk about success, happiness, full potential, and we explore questions from our blog and do it at scale in this way, in this podcast, so it can reach more people. So people reach out to us asking questions about topics we discuss are their own struggles. We all have our struggles, including me. And many of us, so those who are on top of Lamborghinis, those who are in jets, those who are in trailer parks, those who are on the streets, those who are doing their regular work. Everybody has struggles. People struggle with different things. And I cannot tell you how much something hurt. It is a perception that does that. So someone might be having emotional breakdown because they don't have a car, and another person might be having an emotional breakdown because they don't have a house or they don't have anywhere to live. It might be different problems, but what person is feeling is having the same level of adverse effects. So I can't tell you how much it hurts. So the idea is, this week I want to tell you to don't be a simple person. Have depth. So we're going to work on you having depth, being a strong person. Simplicity means you are weak and you allow everything to blow you in every direction that it comes. You're not emotionally strong, and you allow life and circumstances to consistently get the better of you, and you feel like you are at an effect to everything that's happening in your environment. You don't have to accept that for your life. This week I want you to make a determination that you will not be simple. A friend of mine, I learned this from him. He says that low and unless, his name is Rashil Harris, morning Rashil, unless you have a radical spirit, like something about you have to be radical. Unless you can find within you that radical streak, a streak of radical, then one day life will come and take you for all you're worth. Something big will come your way in life that you have nothing to defend yourself against it, and you're not armed with anything to defend yourself against this big thing, and it will take you for all you're worth. You must be a person who can find a streak of radical in them. And we see that all the time with people who go through abusive relationship, and they are never gotten up and say, okay, enough is enough, and they stay there until some lunatic, some psycho kill them, kill their kids, and commit suicide, or people who are involved in business arrangements and are being screwed over by their partners and never get up one day and say, okay, let the chips fall where they may, I'm out of here. People who are in jobs that are incredibly soul crushing and dead end, and they never get up one day and say, look, I am not doing this anymore. I'm sending out 50 applications a week. I'm going to do something radical and massive to get myself out of the situation. Because I'll tell you one very important thing about weakness. Weakness attract abuse. There's a magnetic force about weakness that attract oppression. So even the environment in itself, the natural environment, can sniff weakness. So it might sound simple, but if you're weak, if there's weakness in a home, calamities will hurt you more than where there is a strong spirit. There's a vibration and an energy surrounding things that are weak, that attract weak things to them. You'll meet weak people. You will grow weak kids. You will have weakness everywhere in your life, and your life will be just destined to fail. You must develop your streak of radical. You have to, because life is a tough sport, and it's not gonna stop and wait until you lick your wounds and dress them and take care of them, and then it start to move with you again. It will beat you to your knees, as Sylvester Stallone said, and leave you standing there. That's what life is. It's not a joke. It doesn't care. And a lot of times you might have friends around you or people around you who sniff out a weak side of you. Maybe you like to help, and they take disadvantage of that. Maybe you like to go out, and they take advantage of that. Maybe you like to cook, and they take advantage of that. So you must be strong and put yourself first. And that's what you must do when you are trying to develop something radical in you, to say no. You must learn to say no. That's the first thing. Get comfortable with learning to say no. We're developing a radical spirit now. Get comfortable with saying no, and get comfortable with hearing no also. You must. Good. Next thing is, you must start to accept being alone. A lot of people are afraid to be alone. They're afraid of their own company. They don't like to be alone. They say they're lonely. You must start to be comfortable with your own company, because that's the way people abuse people. They know that you need them and you need somebody around you, so they use it against you a lot of times. So you must start to find things to do by yourself and get comfortable in your own skin. It might be tough at the beginning, but you must push through and get it. Otherwise, you live in the abuse that you're living in because you're afraid of being alone. Everybody must learn to spend time with themselves. That's when you'll get some of your greatest revelations. That's how you tap into your creative and your deep instincts, by getting out there, getting into a space by yourself. In fact, you should have these times by yourself pretty often. And even though it might feel you might be going through something tough and you might feel like you need company, but the answers are not without, they are within. And when you start to seek the answers without, you sink yourself into further problems. And the next thing is that you must develop an agenda, your own agenda. What it is that you do, what are the things that you like, how would you like to do them, when would you like to do them, with whom would you like to do them, how would you like to get them done. You must have your own agenda, because the thing is that if you allow things to take you on its own path all the time, things and people, then you don't have an agenda for yourself. You're just waiting for the next call. And even if you have an agenda, everything that you want to do is pushed on the back burner. So now start to take charge of your agenda and your time. Find meaningful things that you can do with your time that will fill your time and feel good to you. Because a lot of times people who are weak are not enjoying what they are being made to do. They're not happy doing it, but their weaker impulse have them doing it because somebody wants them to do that and they want to please everybody. And that takes me to the last point. You will not be able to make everybody happy. Anytime you're in a situation where everybody's happy, most times you are unhappy. So you will not be able to make everybody happy. So that's my point today. Take that through the week. Are you a radical person? Do you have a radical streak in you? What is it that people see as your weakness and is taken advantage of? And what are you going to do about it? First, you must set your own agenda. Set an agenda that makes you happy. A lot of people have a happiness list that is not theirs. It's someone else's. So you must set an agenda that makes you happy. And the second thing is that you need to start to be comfortable with yourself, spending time alone, being in your own company. Don't be afraid of spending time with yourself. And the third thing is that you need to start getting comfortable with saying no. Say no. Say no. No, I can't. I have other things planned. Because when you are weak, people unconsciously sniff out that weakness, and your priorities are left on the back burner and their priority is elevated. Have a good day. Thank you. Enjoy your week. Always a pleasure.